It's never too late to become what you want to become. Let's put this into proper perspective. I told you that this year has seriously been one of giant, retrospective reflection. I don't know how it happened. This is just what I know where my brain has been. But let's track back here a little bit. That if you think about in your own circumstance, because I know sometimes it's just like, oh God, another day, blah, blah, or Groundhog Day every single day. No. I want you to start to think about something. This is seriously important, is that the chances of conception, right? What are the chances of that? Like one egg to how many, I don't know, how many million sperm or whatever like that, or trillion sperm, I don't know. Think about it. Yours is the one, mine is the one that got through. What are the chances of that, right? And yet here you are. Then I think my own personal situation, I'm adopted. And my natural mother actually was a single mom. She was a waitress. And the year that I was born was actually the same year that abortion was legalized. And so when I look at it, there's probably, again, like zero reason for me to still be here. Because at that time, being a single mom, she already had another daughter who's, I think 12 years older than me, is that woman decided to keep me healthy and actually then give me up to an unknown family. Then my family, I was not adopted through like Catholic charities. I was actually a private adoption that took place via connections. Like somebody knew somebody and knew of this woman who was a waitress, and that was how the whole adoption went through. However, my family is in Chicago, and so the whole adoption process had to cross state borders, so there was all this legal stuff. And then, if I remember correctly, at that time, one of the states, California or it doesn't matter, I think it was California, there was still a takesy-backsy clause where the woman still had 2 years, could you imagine this, to decide that she wants to take her kid back. So my poor mom had social service visits, and I actually remember one of them where the lady would come to be sure that the situation was okay, and if not, something wasn't right, I think that the woman could actually take me back or just take me back at any time. So there's really no reason for me to be here. And then I started thinking about all of the times when my life was in danger, legit. I think of the times, when I was in nursing school and I was taking the L. I lived on the north side of Chicago. My clinicals were at Loyola in Maywood, and I worked the night shift clinical rotation. So I took the L from the north side all the way down to the city, transitioned onto the blue line, the subway, which went through the west side of Chicago at 10 o'clock at night because clinical started at 11. And then I took that to the end of the line, and I was by myself, and took that to the end of the line, got off at Forest Park, transitioned to the CTA, and then took the bus from Forest Park Station, the bus route that ended up at the VA. So then I was on the bus with all of, the people who were headed to the VA, and nothing happened to me. I was safe during all that time. And I was scared a lot, but honestly. And then I think of all the times, either working in the emergency room when your life is kind of threatened by the people who you're taking care of. And then I think of when that guy broke into my condo. There was really, seriously, if I don't even want to think about it, but those times when your life was seriously in jeopardy, or when you maybe would have normally left the house at one particular time, and for some reason you were 3 minutes later than when you normally would go, and there was a car accident, a fatal car accident that happened. If you had been in that line of traffic, you would have been in the accident. How many times? And when I get down and I think to myself, I'm in a yucky place, or I don't think that I can push any farther, or I don't really I don't have a whole lot going on right now, I'm not seeing a lot of results, I'm not seeing a lot of activity. It's making sure that you put yourself back in the place of humility and counting and cataloging all of the reasons and times, like you have no honest to God reason to still be standing here, sitting here, watching this video, yet here you are. For some reason, I believe like God had his hand on me through all of those times and a whole bunch more that I don't really want to revisit. But the point of the matter is this: as long as you still have breath in your nostrils, it is never too late to change what you're doing or be what you want to become.